Keystone Central School District's voting session for the board. At this time, flag salute, followed by a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. A3, please, roll call.
Dr. Baldino,
Is it there? Maybe he didn't hear.
Bill, are you up there?
should I mark him present?
Oh, no, he has to say it, please. Could we have to ask to make sure that he can hear us and that he can speak?
Dr. Baldino,
Does someone have
Chair,
his?
can we come back
Mhm.
after this? These, I'll send them a text.
Please, thank you. Next, please.
Miss Bohart. Here. Mr. Cannon, Miss Lynch,
Here.
Mr. Miller,
Here.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Here.
Mr. Scaff.
Here.
5 members present at the moment.
He sent me a text saying I can't unmute.
Thank you. Yeah, we can't proceed until he can fully participate. Please just give us a moment.
It's also possible that we have him available on the phone
If
and
you,
he can communicate that way.
if
So
we can get him on the phone and he can speak, that would be lovely.
Put him on speaker.
yes, sir.
Yeah, for some reason I can't unmute.
All right, I apologize for that. We're doing the roll call.
Yeah, I'm here.
Doc,
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
6 members present.
Thank you. Agenda,
If he lowers his laptop.
Bill, we're going to keep you on speakerphone here. Would you please turn off your laptop audio so we don't get an echo?
I don't know how to do that. Other than unmute, which it keeps saying I'm muted.
Okay. You could also log out of the video meeting as long as we have you here on the phone. Our board policies do allow for you to participate through a phone.
absolutely.
All right, if it becomes a problem, let me know. I'd rather stay with things as they are right now.
Okay?
He has to be able to speak.
You can. It's just
Okay, okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Item A4, Board Leadership and Administration recommends the following motion. I move to approve the agenda for January 15th, Keystone Central School Board voting meeting as presented. Motion, please.
I motion to approve it.
Do we have a second?
I second.
Thank you. All in favor? Oh, excuse me, discussion.
The agenda, there's 6 items on it that are on our work session that are not on this. For us to deliberate and talk about and vote on. Why were 6 items removed off the work session agenda that we already did and they're not on the voting meeting.
The items that were removed from between the work session and the voting session were in the items for discussion or information and not items that the board needed to vote on. So it has been our past practice to remove those things between the work session and the voting session.
We've always voted on bills for payment. We've always voted on a treasurer report, a financial report, earned income tax we were supposed to vote on to talk about that. That was removed. And curriculum committee training was removed. Those are all things we need to vote on to make sure it happens. The public deserves to know what the treasurer report, financial report, the earned income tax is, and the bills for review bills for payment are not there for us to vote on.
Okay, again, these are things that our past practice has been to remove the things that don't need to be voted on, and the items that I'm gonna have to look back at last week's.
We've always voted on the bills, treasurer report, financial report, and the earned income tax issue needs to be voted on.
Okay, well, the board can add things to the agenda here in this meeting with a majority vote if you so choose.
So is it our understanding that you would like the discussion items placed on the agenda from the work session and then the board votes on the discussion items?
Yeah, they should be here. How are we ever gonna end the issue with earned income tax if we don't vote on it? We're not being very transparent to the public.
So Chris, if I could, on that specific item, there wasn't a voting issue with the earned income tax. It was an informational update about the timeline. I never understood that to be something that the board was voting on.
What about the treasurer's report, financial reports?
Those have sat in for months now. They have sat in the information and discussion, and it's just something that
We have voted on them every meeting I've been here in 2 years.
All right, I apologize if I made a mistake with that. Like I said, if the board wants to change the agenda, you can add those things back in with a majority vote.
May I ask? Are you finished, Chris? And I can.
I'm finished.
Okay, my question is, you want discussion items placed back on the voting session, but we don't vote on discussion items, so I'm not sure. You just want it to see it there? Or you want the board to vote on a discussion item? And I'm not sure what that motion would be.
Elizabeth, we have always voted, whether it was in a big group to pass stuff or not. If we don't vote on it, it never happened. Anything in the past can be changed. It's never documented it was voted on. And this is what was approved. If you just discuss it in the work session, there's no direction from the board for the public what we did. Oh, we talked about it. That's
So,
it.
If I could, I would like to apologize for making a mistake in the agenda. We were taking things off from the information and discussion items. I can't argue the point with you. Like I said, if the board wants to, I'm looking at the December agenda and it's there. So it was a mistake that we made when we set the agenda. I apologize for that.
Okay.
Again, the fix would be to just have a majority vote to put the treasurer's report, financial report, enrollment report back on the voting session.
The enrollment and report is on it.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not toddling back and forth between the two.
We need to vote on if we want to do these trainings.
Those are on there.
One of them is the curriculum trainings on it.
It's on action item. Personnel G2.
when we've done work sessions in the past,
It's G2.
we discussed what we needed fixed. And that same agenda was moved to the voting meeting. And then we went down and we voted to pass whole sections in one sweep or things individually. How this got moved to where it's a total different agenda than what we did before, I do not agree on.
Again, I acknowledge that I made a
I
mistake
heard
and I
you.
apologize for it, and I have suggested a fix for it. Perhaps we should move forward with the board.
That's fine.
Bill is making a point of order.
There is a motion on the floor to accept this agenda. If you wish to modify that motion to add things to the agenda, please do so. We're wasting time right now.
We're in the discussion of it, Bill. That's what was asked.
The motion that is ready to be voted on is whether to accept this agenda or not.
Is there any other discussion items before we ask for a motion that's on the floor? Discussion closed. There's a motion on the floor and a second to approve the agenda as presented. May we have a vote, please?
Ms. Bohart?
Yes.
Mr. Cannon? Ms. Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mr. Scaff?
No.
Dr. Baldino?
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
So we just,
Excuse me. It's discussion's closed on that issue. Item B1.
what a joke.
Board appointment. With the recommendation of administration, resolve that the Keystone Central School District Board of Directors appoints Kevin Ferrara to the Keystone Central School District Board of Directors as the Region 4 Board member effective immediately, and authorizes him to assume the seat upon completion of the Statement of Financial Interest and administration of the oath of office. Motion, please.
I motion it.
What, please,
I motion to vote on Kevin Farrar.
second, please.
I second.
Discussion?
Madam President,
Yes, yes, Bill.
I would move to modify this I would move to table this until after we vote on, and I can't bring the two things up on my screen. We're voting on a policy change to allow late submissions. I think that it would be unwise to proceed with this appointment now if we're going to, in the same meeting, allow people to have delayed admissions. Mr. Farrar may indeed be elected and with this meeting, but I think it's only fair to have the other two people that were late and excluded arbitrarily because of that to be considered also.
Okay, thank you, Bill. Are you completed?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next person, please.
He was first.
Yes, ma'am, please.
I agree. I think that we should I actually feel like we should hold this off for another,
I'm sorry, I can't understand you, the feedback. I'm
No.
sorry.
I feel like we should hold this off and leave it open for another 2 weeks. The last meeting, I was not aware that in past practice, people were allowed to come in and put in an application, late. And if that's the case, then consistency is what we need and fair is fair. So if that's it, I feel like we should wait and, leave it open a little bit longer. We do have till what, the 31st, I believe?
So the state rules are that the board has the first 30 days to appoint a new member for an open position. If the board doesn't complete it in those 30 days, the constituents of that region can petition the court to appoint someone for the board. However, the board continues to have the ability to appoint someone and may do so before the court gets to that point.
So I've been doing a lot of footwork and asking a lot of people, the public, how they feel and what they want. And the public wants that this would be open a little bit longer just to see what else we have and how many other people we have kind of lined up for it. So we have a little bit more, applicants to look at and whatnot. And I encourage Mr. Farrar to come back and, put his application in again, if that's how we're going to do it, or however you want, but I think we should open it up. I feel like that's the only fair thing to do.
Okay. Are you completed?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, Chris.
I think it's fair to ask Mr. Farrar if he has an objection to opening this back up and letting more applicants apply. I, as Manny said, have been pummeled with people that want to hear all the applicants. As I said last week, it's hard enough to get people to apply for one spot. And by God, if we have people that are going to apply, we should at least hear them all. Yes, there was a deadline set, but in all fairness, we had, from the time it was announced till the time it was done, everybody was on vacation. We were in a huge lull in the school district. We are here to do with the students what's best for them,
Yes.
when we're here for what's best for the taxpayers. Those are our first two commitments. And not to do what the public is asking is not a big deal until you get in a situation like this. There's multiple groups out there that don't want this to happen, don't want that to happen. We have to do what our public that voted us into office wants done.
Okay.
We have to take the personal side and shove it out the door. We have to do what our municipality people want. There was a point in time, and Dr. Baldino will remember it. I was told that we only have to care about what's in our district. We only have to listen to them people, and I argued no. We have to look at the entire district, and I was told no. You look at the people from your district. My people have spoken out very loudly over the past week that we want to hear as many candidates as we have that want to apply, for the simple fact that there could be a group of people out there that didn't know to apply or anything else, but we need to pick the best person for our students and for our school and for the taxpayers, the staff, the whole 9 yards.
Okay.
So with that said, I have to say that we should open this up. We have time. And let's see what happens. Let's see what the pool is that we get. And I encourage Mr. Farrar to jump back in that pool.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Thank you. Chris, are you finished?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. There was another hand. Bill?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, John.
That's
My fault.
John.
Apologies.
We as a board need to set standard of consistency. If we vote to change the agenda on this vacancy, we are opening the door to all future vacancies. Please allow the proper committee to work through the meeting so we never end up in a similar situation. Regardless of personal feelings of others, I really appreciated the candidate's interview. I feel with all his experience in finance, business, and safety, he could be a real asset to our board, our students, and our community. I strongly support this candidate. Now, I know we voted our last voting meeting about the two people that are late. Why do we need to vote on that again? Are we going to vote on that every meeting because someone motions it? I mean, we had the meeting. Somebody put the motion in to vote for the two late people. We voted it down. We can't vote on it every single meeting until whoever keeps motion it finally wins the vote. It's already been voted on.
Thank you. Thank you. John, are you completed?
Yep.
Okay, everyone's been around the table once. Would anyone like to make a second comment before I mention mine? No other oh, please go ahead, Chris.
John, I hear what you're saying, but we didn't vote in the work session. We can't. We just expressed interest. You cannot vote in a work session. I think it's prudent of us to give the best chance to gain the best person. And I know it's a gray area, but the state just did the same thing for the governor's assistant. They had one candidate show and they held that off until more could be interviewed. So that's not making a state law, but I think it's prudent to respect what the public wants. And the public in my area has spoken out greatly. And that's what matters to me.
Are you finished?
Yeah, I'm done.
Thank you, Chris. John.
The case you're talking about in the state, did they go through the proper procedures of going through voting? We did vote. It come down to a 3-2 vote. And then did they go through the interview process and all that and then say, well, maybe we should just put it off and wait? Or did they just say put it off before they even went that far in?
I don't know.
Excuse me. John, are you finished? And please, we have to stay on the topic of the agenda. So please just keep that in mind. Are you finished, John?
Yeah, I'm finished.
Okay. Any other comments before I make mine?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Bill, we hear you. Just a minute, Bill. We hear you. Bill, please, you have the floor.
First of all, we can bring things up repeatedly. That's part of Robert's Rules of Order.
Yes.
We simply can't do it on something that's been voted down at the same meeting.
Yes.
Secondly, I'm just expressing my opinion and my feeling. I was ashamed of the fact that we decided not to hear those other people at the last meeting. And I'm ashamed of the people that voted against it. I think that, again, we're asking if we happen to pass the policy modification that's coming up for a vote at this meeting, we're being hypocritical if we proceed with this at this time. And I'm sorry for the problem. If anybody can figure out how to get me unloaded, I'll be happy.
They're trying, Bill.
All right, thank you.
Okay, are you completed, Bill?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. All right. No other discussion, if I just make comment, as a school board president, it's my job to stay objective. There are times though when questions come up to the floor in discussions and that I feel it might be helpful for the other board members. This part that I'm saying is not a discussion item. It's just for informational only. And if it wants to be learned about in greater detail later, please let us know and we'll find the correct training. Thank you. In regarding the policy that is listed, that was mentioned during this discussion. The solicitor, David Lindsay, for the school district, Dr. Redmond, the superintendent, John Miller, the vice president, myself, and Christine heard a very interesting, well-done discussion on this item by the solicitor. The reason why the item is on the agenda is to show that the board has the right to appoint anyone with their own method at any time. When the application date closes, and if the board so chooses, majority, they can do the appointment any which way they want at any time. I am not the expert. I'm just sharing information. If you'd like training on this at a later date, I'll be more than happy to set it up for you. So the policy mentioned there, that line is just to show the board may. It cannot be shall. That goes against the law. It must be may. So, thank you. In regards to the vote, we have a motion on the floor in a second to move to approve Kevin Farrar as a Region 4 board member. I feel like I've expressed this to each of you personally or through email, just so we understand the vote. We have 7 people on the board.
Dr. Baldino is asking for a point of order.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bill. Go ahead.
I made a motion to table this until after the vote on the appropriate policy change. Motion, now, we do need a second to be correct, but a motion to table takes precedence. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Bill.
We can make a motion.
The vote, I just would like to explain. The motion as
In
it's,
other words, you should ask if there's a second to that motion.
yes, thank you, Bill. I would like to be able to finish my comment. Everyone else had I had a chance to speak on this topic, and I would like my time to speak on this topic. It's my turn. Regarding the vote, there are 7 board members. A majority is 4. If and when a vote takes place on this motion, if it's a 3-3, 3 yes, 3 no, it's a failed motion. If it's a 4-2 or a greater majority, it passes or fails depending how the vote goes. So I just want to make sure everyone understands that a tie is a failed vote for anything that we do. Okay, thank you very much. My comment is completed.
Could ask for a
We-
second on Bill's motion.
Yes, yeah. Bill, would you please repeat your motion so everyone's refreshed?
I move that we table the decision on Mr. Farrar until after the vote on the policy change for late applications.
Where's the policy change? The 004?
The policy change won't be until next month.
That's what he has to clarify.
It's 004.
Yes, that's what I have lined here. Bill, would you please clarify your motion? Are you talking about action item on our agenda of F3, 004 membership? Or are you stating that until the policy committee rewrites the whole policy, if they so choose? Can you hear it?
Where, when I went through these things, I'm trying to find it now. Where is it?
Please look at your agenda.
Yeah.
Action item F3. 004, membership.
Yeah. Now, this is on a voting meeting, or is that policy coming up for voting?
No, not the whole policy, Bill. It's just a line of clarification to put, it's just an edit to the current policy. The entire policy is not being voted on this evening. It's just a clarifier from what we learned from the solicitor that the school board may, that's the only difference, is that one sentence. The entire policy is not being addressed at this time. Just a sentence of the policy.
I have a point of order on that.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure if he's finished. Is that okay?
No, the point of order takes preference. Go ahead.
Yes, I just want to clarify. Okay, thank you.
The policy you're discussing, 004005, was on the agenda yesterday to discuss. And it got tabled because there was not enough time to go over the rest of the stuff, items on the agenda, or this would have been handled already. I have to disagree with having these two items on the agenda tonight because we had a chance to do it
Okay.
in the policy meeting
Thank you.
and
Excuse
they
me.
got tabled.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris. We're discussing Bill's motion. Bill,
I made a point of
My
order.
motion is- Am I incorrect in my understanding that we are, however you want to look at it, clarifying or modifying a policy? And what that modification is going to be is to allow consideration of late applications. I think that it would be hypocritical to be allowing it in one place and proceeding now without it. So my intent in tabling it is to wait until we make a decision on that. So I'm totally confused on what's going on right now, but I don't think we should be voting on this appointment until we decide on what our policy is going to be.
thank you, Bill. Are you completed?
Yes.
Okay. Again, the policy text is just clarifying what's already in the
Then
policy.
it's going to be changed, correct?
It is just a sentence clarifying what's already in the policy. Right now, the policy reads, the legislation reads that the board can appoint in any form or fashion, basically, that they want to. This is just showing everyone one sentence stating that the policy, content of the policy is not changing. The laws, we are following the law. The board can appoint in any form or fashion.
Well, then,
If you would like, oh, go ahead, sir. So please clarify your motion so we can move on.
if that indeed is the policy,
Yes.
and I'm not clear that it is, if that indeed is the policy, then there's no need to table it because we've already got that in there.
Mhm.
I'm just saying that what I'm concerned about is that I think it's, again, hypocritical and ridiculous to say, well, we're not going to pay attention to these people that have tried to get in, but were a few days late for extenuating circumstances, and then reaffirm that, oh, we can do it anytime we want later on in whether it be this meeting or the next meeting. So I guess we have to decide what's going on with the policy first.
Okay. Excuse me, Bill. I'm sorry to cut you off, but please clarify your motion so we can move on. What is your motion, please?
My motion is that the appointments, the decision on the appointment should be tabled until clarification of the policy on timeliness of the application is settled.
Do we have a second?
Point of order.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, point of order. I'm sorry, Chris, my fault.
On tonight's agenda, under 004, you want to add a statement about late application. That is changing the policy. That's not in the current policy. So that has to go through a policy committee meeting. We just can't throw it on the board to take it. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
You can't just add this in tonight. You want to add late application submissions and school board candidate requests for an interview may be considered after the vacancy application, deadline date and time. That's okay. That's changing the policy tonight. Sorry, that's what was turned down yesterday. We could have handled this yesterday if we'd have done it in a timely fashion.
Okay.
So we cannot vote on this tonight. If we vote on it, we have to vote on it. And if Mr. Farrar doesn't get voted in, then he has the ability, when we open it up, to come back. That's the way it needs to be done to be the correct way.
Okay. Is there any other comments? And I can address one thing for the board to understand. When F3 comes up, if you do not want anything changed now, you vote no. Okay? That's all you do, vote no. All right? So we have a motion on the floor. Bill's motion's on the floor. Second? Closed, motion fails. Okay, so we have a motion on the floor to, and let's scroll back up, please. Okay, B1, we have a first and a second. A move to approve Kevin Farrar as a Keystone Central School District Board of Directors as Region 4 board member, effective immediately, and authorizes him to assume the seat upon completion of the statement of financial interest and administration of the oath of office. We have a first and a second. Roll call, please.
Ms. Lynch,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez,
No.
Mr. Scaff,
No.
Dr. Baldino,
No.
3 noes. Oh, sorry, Ms. Bohart,
Yes.
3 noes, 3 yeses.
Motion fails. Thank you all for that discussion. It was very good. Moving forward. The board, having failed to appoint Kevin Farrar to the Keystone Central School District Directors as a Region 4 board member, hereby resolves to continue searching for an appropriate candidate to fill the vacant Region 4 member position of the Keystone Central School District Board of Directors in a manner consistent with Pennsylvania State Code. Do I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Discussion. Oh, I'm so sorry. Second.
A second.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, the floor is open for discussion, one at a time, please, on this particular item. Yes, Chris.
Kevin, I welcome you to reapply. Put your applications in. And I think it only fair that we make a whole new list of questions
I think it's a good idea.
and
Good idea.
that we interview as many candidates as we can. And we do set how it has to be done and what time it's going to be done. And we officially ask that any and all candidates district-wide from that region,
That regional.
region only. I say district-wide, I mean in that region, Region 4. if you're interested, please submit an application complete. And we will set a date and go over it.
Okay, are you completed, Chris?
Yes.
Okay, next comment, please. Yes, Manny.
Basically, I want to ditto what Chris said. Mr. Farrar, I think it was a great interview. I just want to see more candidates out on the table. I want to be able to, open this up, and please, everyone who is listening, if they know anyone in that district that is. Oh, okay. If they know anyone in that district, I encourage you guys to please put your application in, so we can have more of a pool to pull from. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much. Any other discussion? Yes, please, John.
I just heard into one comment about Mr. Farrar reapplying, and I heard the word set twice. We'll set dates, we'll set times. We had a set date, a set time, and you see where we're at today. Because other people's personal feelings, Mr. Farrar's not liked, so it's been pushed, and pushed till we got to the point where we are right now. We had a date, we had a time, we had an interview, we had everything. But because of other people's feelings and to push other people's agendas, now we're gonna change. And I just heard set 2 times. We're gonna set a date, we're gonna set a time. Same thing that we already did. I'm done.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion items for this? Is that Bill? Oh, Bill, we hear you, Bill.
Thank you. I think it was Mr. Rodriguez's comments. I want to echo them. I feel the same way. I am not against Mr. Farrar. I am simply saying we should consider the other 2 people interested in joining us.
Or more.
Hopefully more. Yeah.
Okay,
Or, yeah,
thank,
hopefully more. I agree, yes.
okay, Bill, is your comment time done? Are you finished?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bill. Yes, Dr. Redmond.
If this motion passes, then between Christine and I, we will send out the information in the papers, similar to all the other recent openings that we've had. So the timeline for applications and everything will be exactly the same, starting next Wednesday and going for 2 weeks and so forth. That may cause the need for us to put together a special meeting.
Yep.
Not necessarily for meeting the 30-day timeline, because of, again, we don't, as I explained before, if 10 members from that region would like the court to make the appointment, they can petition for that after 30 days, but that doesn't preclude the board from continuing on its process.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, all right, we've gone around the floor once. I'm sorry, Shelby, did you have okay, now we're going around the floor twice.
Just real quick, Mr. Redmond, where exactly are these things posted? Because even with my position, I didn't know about it except for word of mouth, and it was almost last minute.
We put it in the local paper and we advertise it on our website.
On the Keystone Central
Correct.
School, okay.
Yes.
Okay,
So to be specific, we put it in the Lock Haven Express.
okay, gotcha.
Any other comments? Okay. I would like to make a comment regarding this. The board has this opportunity. We are going to go through this process again. It's going to be transparent. I like the idea of brand new questions. So we will work on this, the questions, like we did last time. We'll have their lead people, and then board members, if you have a topic that you would like for a question, you don't have to word it perfectly, just a topic. It could be something about curriculum, anything. Please forward it to Dr. Redmond, Christine, and myself. And between these 2, they're going to come up with a draft. And then the draft can be quickly reviewed by the board members if you have any other comments. And then when it comes up for a vote that night after the interviews, it might be the same evening yet. We will figure this out. I know we can do this before the end of January. I know we can. You just have to understand this. And David Lindsay, the solicitor, will someday offer us a good training on this issue. When we go and interview the candidates, there will always be that open gray area for the board to stop the process and restart it again because someone showed up. That will always be an open issue. We can't stop it. So at some point, you as individuals need to come to your own decision, please. So we can have some sort of consistency and this process won't keep moving in the wrong direction. So it'll come to a closure and we can move forward. Does that sound reasonable to you? Okay.
May I just real quick,
Yes.
just to clarify on dates, I mentioned my earlier statement, 2 weeks, but next week, Wednesday is the 21st of January. 2 weeks would mean that the applications would be due on the 4th of January, which wouldn't give us time to do the proper advertisement and everything for the special meeting. So then the application window would have to be
Very short.
constrained to the starting on the 21st of January and going to the 30th of January, so that documents would have to be submitted to the board secretary by the end of business on the 30th of January.
Okay, now we need clarification before you set exact dates, clarification from the solicitor to ensure that we are within the timeline and this will not get moved in any other direction. If we have to shorten the timeline for applications to come in, we are going to have to do that. So please clarify that.
There's no requirement anywhere for
Alright.
what the interviews or
Exactly.
so the board can set whatever timeline they want, but my recommendation is to have that application window open from the 21st to the 30th.
I would prefer, honestly, the application period for 5 days. But, and then we conclude this before the end of the month. That is my opinion. And I would like a consensus before we leave tonight. So this is done. Yes,
David Lindsay's online.
yes.
Why don't you get him to clarify right now? There's no mix up.
Okay. That's a very good, that's very good.
Ask our solicitor, David Lindsay, real quick, give us a brief discussion so that we can move on.
Okay. Can he hear us? 'Cause
Yes.
Okay. Solicitor David, do you have access to speaking?
Can you hear me?
You're very low. Can you turn up your volume, please, or sit closer?
How about now?
Oh, that's
There you
lovely. Mr. Solicitor David, the board is going to reopen. Well, we're going to finish the motion first. It appears that the board is going to reopen the candidacy, and I am requesting that it's considered that this whole application period and the interviews and the vote concludes before the end of this month. And the board is seeking some clarification on how long should they have the application period open that is reasonable. Any comments, please?
Well, you are correct in that the law doesn't really constrain the board to any timeline at all. The only constraint that's on the board is the 30-day window after which taxpayers from the region at issue can file a petition with the Court of Common Pleas. And once the Court of Common Pleas grants that petition, it's no longer in the board's hands. Other than that, there is no timeline. So the board is free to set whatever limit it wants to do. It's really up to you guys, whatever you want to do. The school code does not require any particular timeline other than if the Court of Common Pleas were to act subsequent to that 30-day time frame.
Okay, so the 30-day timeline started January 1st of 2026. Is that correct? Anyone?
I believe so. I believe that was the resignation notice from Mr. Johnston.
Okay, so the understanding is we have to meet interview, vote prior to the end of this month. Is that understood by everyone? Are we all in consensus about that? Okay, so that's taken care of. Is there any other questions for the solicitor, please? Okay,
Just to be clear, to clarify, just by way of example, let's say that 30-day time frame goes by and 10 taxpayers do not file a petition with the Court of Common Pleas. The time frame would remain open indefinitely, theoretically, until either the board votes to appoint somebody or 10 taxpayers file a petition, which is ultimately granted.
thank you very much. You've saved us another training. Okay, so bottom line, are we in a consensus that we do not want the court system to appoint a school board member? Are we in consensus about that? Yes or no, please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
gotta do our due diligence.
Okay, so we have a consensus and a motion on the floor that this will all take place and be finalized before the end of January 30th. Correct? Anyone disagree? Okay, that is clear. All right, we have a motion on the floor. Would you like me to read the motion again? Or are you ready to vote?
Read the motion again, please.
Yes? Excuse me, just 1 minute, please. The board, having failed to appoint Kevin Farrar to the Keystone Central School District Board of Directors as the Region 4 board member, hereby resolve to continue searching for an appropriate candidate to fill the vacant Region 4 member position of the Keystone Central School District Board of Directors in a manner consistent with the Pennsylvania Code. That's the motion as it stands. We had a first and a second, and we have an understanding. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Miller,
No.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Mr. Scaff,
Yes.
Dr. Baldino,
Yes.
Did you hear that? He said yes. Okay, thank you.
Ms. Bohartz,
Yes.
and Mr. Cannon.
I didn't vote.
Oh, and Ms. Lynch.
That's okay. Yes,
Sorry.
thank you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 yeses, 1 no.
Okay, motion passes. Please, at your earliest convenience, let's start this process. Let's get it advertised. Let's set the special meeting date. And if we can do the vote and the interviews on the same day, let's do it. Okay? All right. Super terrific. Lovely. Thank you very much. Item C1.
You're not.
Okay, C1 is not going to happen because there was a conflict. So we look forward to seeing them again. D1.
I'm sorry, Madam President.
Yeah,
Dr. Baldino indicated that he has another commitment and had to leave the meeting.
okay. Please note that Dr. Baldino informed Dr. Redmond that he had to leave the meeting at 7:37 p.m. in the evening, and he will no longer be at this meeting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5. We have a quorum. We're in good shape. Okay? Moving forward. Item D1. Central Mountain High School and our Career and Technology has a presentation. Please come forward. We're looking forward to this. And when you come to the floor, please introduce yourselves and what you do so anyone out there will forever know who you are.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Nick Varelli, principal at the high school, and welcome new board members.
Kurt Lynch, Career Tech Education Director.
Thank you.
I'm going to slide a little bit here, Elizabeth, so I can
And
kind of
please
see.
take your time. Okay, and now do you want, if the board members have any questions, do you want them to wait until the end? Or would you prefer that?
I would just say if we could wait till the end, I think our last slide actually is, do you have any questions?
Okay.
So, but we can address that at the end. I want to thank you for this opportunity. We do have a brief presentation for you that hits upon some of our dual enrollments, some of our co-op interns. I just think that's one of those things that we want to talk about because the more we talk to the community, the more we're finding out that not everybody was aware of all of these opportunities that are happening here in CT in the high school and then at Bucktail. After this, we also plan to send some things out to the local newspaper, get on the radio, just to push out some of the wonderful things that are happening here and around the district. Colin, if you can hit the next one, please. We're going to highlight just briefly on some of our academics that we're doing here at the high school in Bucktail and through CTE, through college and dual enrollment. And then Kurt's also going to talk about all the wonderful industry certifications that our kids are leaving here with, along with over 100 work experiences and partnerships that we have with local businesses that, to me, are one of the best things that we have going with our partnerships with the community.
Great.
Colin, go ahead with the next one. We are currently have dual enrollment opportunities with Penn College, Commonwealth, Lackawanna, which add to about approximately 30. That can vary from year to year based on some of the agreements that we have. But every year, approximately, we are offering 30 dual enrollment courses. That also doesn't count necessarily the dual enrollment if you did dual enrollment at Commonwealth University and you went to the university to take any of those courses. They have been kind enough to pretty much open up their entire book, that if any student is, obviously there's some prerequisites in some of those courses, but they have opened it up for us. And that agreement is at a reduced rate, almost a quarter of what you would pay if you were a student going there. College credits earned, go back just for a second, please, Colton. Thank you. College credits earned to this point are approximately 700 credits. This information that we're talking to you about was comprised from last school year. So we're talking about the 24-25 school year. That's 700 credits that our kids have earned through these agreements. And then we have articulated agreements of about 40. Those articulated agreements are a little different than dual enrollment. Some of the articulated agreements, almost all of them, our teachers are teaching that, and then the students are getting credit through different universities when they go there. The other nice thing is if we took a good look at our Penn College dual enrollment that we have, Lackawanna, and even some of the Commonwealth, our teachers are teaching those courses. So our kids are not having to pay for every one of those. Some of those they do have to pay for, obviously. That's the agreement through the university. But our Penn College courses are 100% free to our students. We pay a small fee, $2,500 to Penn College. But when we show you this next slide, well worth it. And Colton, if you can hit that. Last year, almost $600,000 were saved from students and parents just in these agreements. It's a phenomenal program. It's something that has been an awesome part of what we've been doing here for the past few years, and it only continues to grow. I'm going to use my son as an example. He has his first year at Bloomsburg this year. He's going in there with 27 credits already. So either this summer or next, he's going to take an extra 3, and hopefully, barring everything working out, he'll graduate a year early. That's certainly something he appreciates, and also something that we do as parents. So I think this is something that we will continue to do. We're excited about it. We're excited to offer this opportunity to our kids. Next slide. Go ahead, Kurt.
And on top of the Penn College, next year we're going to add, there's at least 2 or 3 courses we're adding to the Penn College catalog to our school. So those teachers will be vetted over the summer. Also, the Penn College tuition is $2,500 per school. But for the last 4 years, I've made a partnership with the local entity, and they have actually paid that for us. So we've not had to pay the $2,500. Previously, I've written it into a federal grant, but in the last 4, we've gotten it paid in an alternative method. Hopefully that continues, so it helps. Workforce readiness achievements, industry certs last year achieved were 2,505 certs. This is everything from OSHA 10 to OSHA 30, Home Builders Institute, things like that, that kids can take with them in their pocket to be better employable. Or also, some of these also transfer to, if you go to a trade school, they get college credits advanced because they don't have to take that certification. Work experience opportunities in 5 years, Capstone were 89, diversified occupations, which is a student that isn't in the CTC, or either our class is full and we can't put them into the CTC. There was 113 students took advantage of that, 49 internships and 13 job shadows. Current business partners that are active, and by active I mean they have their clearances, are 124 businesses are current. NOCTI is the end of program assessment for a CTE student. 94% of our students were competent or advanced on the NOCTI in 24-25. That was a new number here. 9 years ago, we were at 42%. It is now 94 with, I think there was 140 some kids tested. Dual enrollment. The CEOLA expands your dual enrollment and gives lots more opportunities to students to take a lot of courses that we don't offer here. There's a whole catalog for them. Nick, do you want to say some more about that one?
Yeah, I spoke with Mr. Peters, who is the principal of our online learning program. This is another way for us to try to compete with some of the other cyber schools that are out there. And for us to do this, this is a huge bonus that we have, where some of our kids who are in the online program that aren't able to take advantage of the things that I was talking about earlier, now, because of this dual enrollment agreement that we have for our online program, they get a chance to then also be able to. So really what we're trying to do is we're trying to offer this for every kid available and try and hit all of them and their needs. And also, we want to take advantage of, some kids don't necessarily have the money to do the dual enrollment to go to Lock Haven. These are things where they can do these with our agreements, our articulation agreements, our Penn College, where it's not costing them anything. So our goal is to provide these opportunities and not have money be a barrier.
Oh, any questions?
No, I think it's great.
I think you guys are doing an
Yeah.
awesome job. I've said that a million times, and you're doing the best that anything can be done for our students, and I think that's commendable.
Thank you.
I appreciate that, Chris. Thanks.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank you.
Go ahead, Elizabeth.
I always look forward to this presentation. No matter what else is on the agenda, whatever happens, as soon as you start speaking, I just can't stop smiling. So just let us know however else, through administration, et cetera, that I want to keep supporting you as best as I am able. And I have no doubt that, and I can't speak for the board, but let us know, please. And I am so grateful, so very grateful for your staff, the program you've been putting together. And when I'm around town, every once in a while, I find one of our graduates will walk up to me. And one of them especially, I'll never forget, was just a few months ago. And she said, "Are you on the school board?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, I graduated from there a while ago. I was one of the basement kids." Like, what are you talking about, the basement kids? And back in the day, but she is a phenomenal young woman, and she couldn't speak highly enough of it. And she is very proud to have been one of the basement kids. So thank you for doing that. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on. D2, social media. The school board, school district solicitor will present a legal perspective regarding First Amendment rights, social media engagement, and publicly shared communications, including but not limited to school board members' rights and responsibilities, as well as relevant court case examples. This will be a short overview, and you're going to be, if you want to ask any questions, and then if you feel that the information coming tonight is a little bit too much, or you want more detail, and you want a deeper training later, please voice your opinion. May I introduce the school district's solicitor, David Lindsay. David, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you. Can you all hear me okay?
Beautiful.
I can actually be, well, at least for, I guess, an attorney, relatively brief. I will note that Dr. Redmond had sent out, at least I think he did, a guide that was published by the PSBA regarding social media communications from school board members. It's actually pretty good and pretty thorough. And I don't really have any particular disagreement with anything that's in that document. However, since that document was published, Elizabeth is correct. Actually, the Supreme Court did decide a case that does have a bearing on social media communications with board members, particularly from individual accounts. So what I intended to do was just give you a broad overview, in essence, of what your First Amendment rights are, whether they're curtailed at all, and then some pitfalls to watch out for and remedies going forward. So initially, I would note that just because you hold an elected office doesn't mean that you, as a board member, give up your individual First Amendment rights. You still have the right to comment on anything that you would be able to comment as a regular person, in other words, a non-elected individual. None of that is in any way limited, other than by some considerations when it comes to school district business. And having said that, however, you need to bear in mind, and I think you all know this, that no one individual board member can speak on behalf of the board. The board speaks as a whole. The board speaks after deliberation, much like you guys have done tonight, after a resolution, and then a vote. That's how the board speaks as a whole. It's no one individual board member that makes any position on behalf of the board. Nonetheless, because you do or may have social media accounts, you're still free to communicate with the public using those accounts. My opinion is, however, that doing so is probably a recipe for problems in the long run. And ultimately, I'm going to urge that if you do want to communicate with the public in your individual capacity, in other words, not as a board member, particularly as it relates to district business, that you should do so with caution and also with a disclaimer. And I intend after this to send a disclaimer to the superintendent and the board president to disperse to all of you so you can attach it to whatever communication you may have. And I would urge you that if you're going to discuss any district business whatsoever, that disclaimer needs to be present. That way we know, or the public knows, that you're speaking as an individual and not on behalf of the board. And that's where issues arise when individual board members say things concerning district business, and it can be perceived as being binding upon the district, thus creating liability for the board and for the district. Now, so to give you an idea, that there was a case that was cited in the publication that Dr. Redmond forwarded to you all. In the case, it was a Pennsylvania case that ultimately went up to the Supreme Court. And in that case, there were two individual board members who were using their own Facebook social media accounts, and they were discussing district business, particularly the display of books at the library. And it was a right to know request where some members of the public believed that those Facebook posts should be made available in that they constituted official records of the district, even though clearly they were made from individual accounts. And if you read the opinion, and I'm going to read from it because I don't think I could word it any better than the court did. So the question that the trial court initially believed that after much consideration that the communications in their individual accounts actually did constitute district records. And in looking at the opinion, the trial court indicated that, and I'll read from the opinion, at first blush, Pencrest, that's the school district, primary argument that it did not own, possess, or have access to the private Facebook accounts of two board members, and thus its content did not meet the definition of a record was appealing. However, upon closer inspection, the court found that it did not matter if a Facebook post was made on the school's Facebook page or on the personal computer of a board member's private Facebook page. These posts can become a record if they are created by persons acting as a school board member and contain information related to a school transaction, business, or activity. Ultimately, that went up on appeal, that particular finding, and the Supreme Court really didn't strike it down. They simply clarified what the lower courts needed to look at and then remanded, meaning it sent it back to the lower court for more consideration. But the court went on to explain that there's no one size fits all to whether individual communications of board members constitute official records, that it's very fact specific. It can depend on how many people are viewing it. It can depend on the content of the communications. It can depend on how the communications were worded, whether there was a disclaimer. And it's really looked upon on a case-to-case basis. And ultimately, the Supreme Court held that, and I'm going to again read from its opinion, that under the facts that were presented to the Supreme Court, that it's necessary to consider whether a board member is posting his personal views on a private page to a limited audience, or if the board member is publicly discussing board business in his official capacity. As you can kind of infer from the wording of the Supreme Court, there is no, again, one size fits all for communications as it relates to board business being discussed by individual board members and social media platforms. So my advice to board members is, if you can avoid doing that, that's probably the best policy. And in fact, I think the PSBA indicated that in the document that was forwarded to all of you. In other words, it's sort of like you don't want to drive too close to the cliff for fear that you may fall off of it. You don't want to get so close that possibility exists. It's best just to avoid it altogether.
Right.
Again, I don't want to curtail anybody's First Amendment rights. So if you choose to do that, that's certainly up to any individual board member. There's nothing I or anyone else can do to stop you from discussing board business, but be aware that the possibility exists that that discussion or communication, one, could constitute an official record and thus have to be disclosed later with a right to know request, or via subpoena to some other type of proceeding of a legal nature. It could create liability both for the district and for the board itself. And third, it could be binding upon the district were the board member to take some position regarding some issue that was coming up before the board. Not to mention all the other issues that may arise concerning, for example, conflicts of interest or making decisions about things that haven't yet been deliberated by the board, for example. If a board member were to say, I am for this issue when it has yet to come before the board, it could be argued that the board member was making a decision before having heard all the information. I could come up with a large number of problems that would accrue, example after example. So suffice it to say, if you're going to do that, if you're going to communicate with the public regarding district business, I request that every communication have a disclaimer on it that I will send to the board president and the superintendent to disperse to all of you that indicates you are acting in your individual capacity and not on behalf of the board. And two, that if you're going to have that kind of communication and questions are presented to you individually, I highly recommend that those questions be directed via district policy either to the superintendent or to a building principal, depending on the nature of the message. In other words, I don't think that it would be prudent to get involved in any type of back and forth discussion regarding anything that is, any comment that may come up pertaining to whatever issue it is you may choose to discuss. So from my point of view, as the district solicitor in terms of liability and legality, those are the main issues that I wanted to impart to the board. And if you have any questions, I'm glad to answer them.
Okay. Thank you very much, David. That was very well put. I deeply appreciate it. And that email and that PSBA came from that lawyer conference that I went to where they had the two PSBA lawyers. And I'm really happy to hear your opinion on that because that's why I sent it to you. So I sent it to all the board members and there's a lot of information. If you choose to read it, great, but I think David did a great job. The floor is open for you to ask questions to David if anything is unclear, but please remember we're talking about content and not individual people. Okay? Thank you.
If somebody is openly making negative, derogatory comments on social media, and then at a later time, month, year, sick, whatever, later time they are running to be on the school board, how do we or how can we question their moral character as a board member?
I guess I don't understand your question. So is the question, would it be a problem for you to question the board member regarding previously, I should say the prospective board member regarding previously made statements that were negative about the school district?
Yeah, if they're openly making the negative derogatory comments, and then they come in for an interview for a position 6 months from now, can we question their moral character on that subject?
I think the board would be free to question however they wanted to question. If it's a statement made publicly, the individual has to answer for whatever the statement may be or explain it.
Okay, thank you.
Interesting. Any other questions before we close? And again, if you come up with any questions later or after you look at the pamphlet I sent you, please send them to Dr. Redmond, send them to me, and we'll figure out how to get the answers. How's that sound? Yeah? Okay. David, I deeply appreciate your patience. It was much more valuable than I expected. Gold star for the refrigerator tonight. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you. You
All
too.
right. Okay. Action item E1, hearing of visitors. We have a list here. Is there anyone else online? Or is this?
No, that's correct.
Okay. We were told we have no one online, so we have a physical list here. We do them in order.
Elizabeth,
Yes.
I'm sorry. Can we have 2 minutes? I gotta run to.
Yes, we can take a brief recess, 5 minutes, please, and we will come back and we will restart the meeting. Meeting is closed temporarily.
Bring us back in session, because you can.
Good evening, Keystone. If we could go ahead and start the school board meeting again, please. It's 8:06 PM. And I would just like to make a quick announcement. We did have an executive session prior to the voting session from 6 o'clock until 6:37 dealing with a legal issue. So I apologize for not announcing that earlier. It happened before the voting session this evening. Okay. Back to action item E1.
Last week.
She said she has it.
Okay.
But thank you for asking. I'm glad because we want to make sure we always announce it. That's our job. Okay. Action item E1, hearing of visitors. On board docs, I'll read this very quickly. You've heard it many times, but since we have a list of more than one person, we're going to go ahead and say the entire disclaimer that's on the public board docs. With the understanding we have policy 903, also available on board docs, is public comment in board meetings. The Keystone Central School Board of Directors encourages public comment from its citizens. Each community member may speak for a period of no longer than 4 minutes per board policy. And fortunately, our school board secretary, Christine, she mans the timer. She does a great job. You'll just give us a little notice that they go almost get close, and then we'll work on that, okay? Please understand that this is not a time for dialogue with the board. Rather, the board will listen to all comments and consider them in further deliberations at a later time. Our individual email addresses are on the webpage, Keystone Central School District's webpage. If you would like to contact your individual board representative, we ask that you please direct complaints of a personal nature regarding an individual employee directly to the superintendent. As you know, you're on the sign-up sheet for anyone who wishes to address the board. We do these in order. You have 4 minutes, and we ask that when you come up, please speak clearly into the microphone so the folks at home will be able to hear you. Your name, please, would be greatly appreciated, first and last name. And thank you for coming. First person on the list, Kevin Ferrara.
Good evening, board. First and foremost, not the outcome that I was hoping for, but I do respect the decision of the board and the vote earlier. Just going to read a statement here. I'd like to discuss something former board president Roger Elling passionately spoke about here during last week's work session, that being precedent regarding vacancies on the board. Elling sat here and stated that in past practice, when a vacancy in Region 3 occurred, the board allowed an individual to be added to the list of candidates. However, what Elling failed to state was under his former leadership, when a vacancy occurred in Region 3 this past October, he nor the board refused to entertain additional candidates. When former board member Polly Dunahey resigned, creating a vacancy in Region 3, 2 applicants submitted their interest to the board. Those individuals were subsequently interviewed, and the board met on November 6th to vote on which candidate would be appointed. However, prior to the vote, Elling informed the board that one of the applicants had to be disqualified because they did not reside in the district, thereby leaving only one applicant. With a sense of urgency, board members William Baldino made a motion to accept the lone applicant, and Chris Scaff seconded the motion. Elling asked for a discussion, to which there was none, and the motion was put to a vote. The board unanimously voted to appoint the lone applicant, current board member Manny Rodriguez. During last Thursday's work session and tonight, current board members Scaff and Baldino claim the board has difficulty in finding candidates for vacant board positions, and as such, the board should allow the 2 individuals who admittedly submitted their interest after the published deadline to be considered. Yet just a few months ago, both individuals made no such claim when the board was left with only one applicant for Region 3. Former board member Jeff Johnston made no such claim either. Yet today, on social media, he's spearheading personal attacks against me because I was the only applicant that submitted my interest on time. With the Region 4 vacancy notice having been published a total of 4 times in the newspaper and on the district's website, it's ironic that Johnston was just appointed to be an auditor for Pine Creek Township despite no public notice of the vacancy. Many have questioned, how did Johnston know about that vacancy if no notice was given? Referring to Elling's claim about precedent, he, and in fact the entire board, set precedent in November when they collectively chose not to entertain a search for additional applicants, rather voting to appoint the only one that remained. With such a clear precedent, it's reasonable to ask, why now am I, the only applicant who met the application deadline and who was voted by a majority of the board to be interviewed, challenged so much? Why is it that despite similarities to a vacancy in November, the current vacancy was discussed tonight so differently? I ask the board to consider why such a difference in procedure with respect in the manner and how applicants are to be considered. Was it because it's me, Kevin Farrar, who was the lone applicant for Region 4? Bending the rules or moving the goal line to accept and interview late applicants simply because a remaining applicant is disliked, and believe me, there's many in this room that dislike me.
Excuse me, Mr. Farrar. You're at 38 seconds. And if
I'm
you
almost
go-
done.
No, if you go over 4, I'm going to give you a little more time, okay? So
Okay.
please go ahead. I just want to let you
Okay.
know that and make the public aware of that. Thank
Okay,
you.
appreciate it. A remaining applicant is disliked creates a clear appearance of favoritism and bias, and that was clearly shown tonight. Is this the message the board, entrusted with representing all students, truly wants to convey? Delaying an appointment impacts the district stakeholders who are entitled to a representative prepared to dedicate themselves to service and self-sacrifice on their behalf. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have Rich Wyckoff. Rich, please come up to the microphone and introduce yourself to us, please.
Hard to see, right?
And again, you have 4 minutes, and if it gets close to 4,
Honestly,
we're just gonna stay consistent and everyone can have a little bit more.
thanks,
Because
Liz,
he
but I
would,
promise
he actually went over, I think, 2 seconds.
to your
Okay, 2
surprise,
seconds.
to your surprise, I'll be less than 4 minutes.
Okay,
That's a
please, you
shocking
have the
thing,
floor,
yeah.
sir. You have the floor.
Yeah, my name's Rich Wyckoff. Lived in Flemington for over 40 years. Taught elementary, mostly in Renova, some at Liberty Curtin, and subbed in the district. I'm here just as a citizen of the district, and I'll preface my statements it is brief. The obvious is that every decision reveals values, and we're in this together. No matter what is said or done or goes on, many of you know me, and it is that we're a community, and those of us that believe in community, it's tough sometimes to behave that way. So I am here though for one reason, and again, those that know me will respect this, that I'm here for students. Students, I believe firmly, students should never ever be collateral damage. And too often, that's exactly what happens. I saw that in 30 years worth of teaching. If their success is truly our prime directive, not rhetoric, not averages, not budget lines, what must change to move this district onto an upward trajectory that serves every child? And at what point will families see real evidence that this is happening, not just plans and presentations? When we say turnaround, what does that mean for a student sitting in a classroom tomorrow morning? What will be different in what they're offered? How they're supposed, how they're supported, and how well they're prepared for life after graduation? And how will you show the public that those changes are real? Considering the political and financial reality we're living in, what exactly do we want? What would satisfy us in the end? What kind of district are we trying to create? and who wins in the end and who loses. Our community doesn't need more noise. We need direction, transparency, and student-centered leadership. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us
Thanks,
this evening. Our third citizen is Roger Elling. Roger Elling, please come up and introduce yourself. And you have 4 minutes, and gave him 2 extra seconds that time. I think it was 2 seconds.
Okay, members of the school board, I want to point out to you that the policy 004 and 005 change that you guys are doing, by the looks of it, it has not gone through the committee, the policy committee, and it has also not had a first read. So because of that, this should be held off until after those things are done. Now, getting back to policy 005, the change you're looking to change, I want to raise a governance concern in the context of recognized best practices, including those outlined in PSBA's Principles for Governance and Leadership, which many Pennsylvania districts adopt to guide effective board operations. These principles remind us that boards establish and adhere to rules and procedures for board operations, and develop, adopt, revise, and review policy in ways that reinforce ethical, transparent, and effective governance. One key principle highlighted by PSBA is that the boards must govern effectively, including adhering to established procedures and aligning decisions with policy. This speaks directly to committee structure and leadership. Previously, the policy included explicit language stating that neither the board president nor the vice president shall chair standing committees. That provision aligned with good governance by assuring that executive leadership did not also control the committee process. Committees play a critical role. They study issues, develop recommendations, and frame the matters that come before the full board, allowing the board president and vice president to chair these bodies. Concentrates power in the same individuals who already appoint committee members, serve ex officio, and preside over board meetings, a structure that weakens the essential separation between leadership and committee deliberation. PSBA's governance framework also highlights the importance of acting ethically and avoiding actual or perceived conflicts of interest. Removing the prohibition against president and vice president chairing committees increases the risk of perceived bias because it places agenda-setting authority, deliberative influence, and executive leadership in the hands of the same individuals. Good governance is not about complying with minimum legal standards. It's about structuring our policies to ensure transparency, shared leadership, and impartial decision-making. And that work begins with how committees are formed and led. The previous language protected those principles by limiting concentration of authority. The revision that removed it moves us away from what PSBA's own framework would describe as best practice in governing effective and acting ethically. For these reasons, consistent with PSBA's principles for governance and leadership, I respectfully request that the board consider restoring the language that precludes the board president and vice president
Excuse me,
from
sir.
chairing
You have
standing
10
committees,
10 seconds, please.
reaffirming our commitment to transparent, impartial, and effective governance for this district. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, next person on the list, page 2, Tracy Smith. Please come up and introduce yourself.
Interesting being on this side. All right, I'm Tracy Smith, Woodward Township. Just going to discuss policy 004. I think it's great. You want to look at that and change that. But is it truly necessary? No. You are leaders and you can decide how you want to fill a vacancy. And I applaud the three of you tonight who voted to, in essence, be a leader and hear from more of the people. We know as a community, as former board members and board members, typically we don't hear from people in the community until they are very much against something. And that has happened in this situation. And so it is very important for you to be leaders, listen to your people, and make the right decisions. So thank you. That policy, it's going to be hard to change. It'd be a little bit vague just to say you'll accept late applications. I'm sure you'll work through that. But especially with the other vacancy happening, we need to get a better system of working that out, whether it's advertising and anything else. So thank you and have a good night.
Thank you very much, Tracy. Okay, next person on the list, Jeff Johnston. Please come up and introduce yourself.
Most of you know me. I'm
It's for our folks.
Jeff Johnston from Pine Creek Township.
Thank you.
I just want to take a moment to, as Tracy has just said, thank you for reconsidering this situation to fill this vacancy. I think you made a wise decision. It's always in the best interest, no matter what position you are trying to fill, whether it's a teaching position or whatever, whether it's in the school district or in any business or whatever. It's always wise to have as many candidates as you possibly can. And I thank you for opening this up so that you can listen to other people and see, and use your judgment and say who you feel as a group will fill this position in the best interest. So, and that was basically what my original remarks were going to be, was to ask you to simply do what you did. So I thank you for that. I also wanted to respond to a couple of comments there that Mr. Farrar made earlier, which he alluded to the fact that I've made personal attacks on him.
Excuse me, sir. This is regards to the agenda, so no personal comments, please. Yeah,
Okay.
we would appreciate it. You have your right, you've got your freedom of speech, but we appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Well, with that being said, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to speak and for your decision tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's see. We have Roger Elling listed again, but we're going to go.
Topic,
I'm sorry, excuse me?
4 minutes per topic, according to 903.
Yes.
They're two different topics.
Mm-hmm. We take these in order that they're written. So we will give Roger Elling. Please come up and introduce yourself.
Thank you for adhering to policy 903. I appreciate that. All right, good evening, members of the board, superintendent, and solicitor, if you're still on, Dave. I'm speaking for the record regarding the board's action to try to appoint Region 4 board member, which occurred prior to the hearing of visitors. Under the Pennsylvania Public School Code, specifically Section 315, 24 PS subsection 3-315, when a vacancy occurs on a board of school directors, the remaining directors are required to appoint a qualified individual to fill that vacancy. While the statute provides authority to make an appointment, It also presumes that the process reflects the board's fiduciary duty to act in the best interest of the district and the constituents of the affected region. Additionally, the Pennsylvania Sunshine Act, 65 PS.CS subsection 701 at sequence, requires that deliberation of official action occur in a manner that meaningfully permits public participation. While public comment is not required before every vote, when a board establishes a hearing of visitors as part of the regular meeting structure, taking binding action prior to that hearing undermines the purpose and intent of transparency and public engagement contemplated by the act. By trying to vote on this appointment before hearing of visitors, the board would have eliminated the opportunity for Region 4 residents to be heard prior to their final action. Public comment after a vote does not provide a meaningful opportunity to influence deliberation and raise concerns regarding procedural fairness and due process. This concern is further compounded by the existence of a petition from Region 4 constituents opposing the appointment that wasn't even addressed, as well as the fact that other qualified individuals requested consideration and interviews. While those requests were submitted after the stated deadline, they were supported by a legitimate cause. Nothing in Section 315 requires rigid adherence to an administrative deadline. When doing so, limits the board's ability to fully evaluate candidates or consider community input. For the record, this sequence of events creates a minimum, the appearance that expediency was prioritized over representation and that public input was rendered inconsequential. I respectfully urge that the board solicitor, I would respectfully urge the board and solicitor review whether the process used here aligns not only with the technical authority granted under school code, but with its underlying intent, the Sunshine Act and principles of sound governance. And I'm not going to address the ignorance displayed here earlier by Mr. Farrar. Thank you.
Public comment periods are to address the board. Thank you. Next person on the list is Heather Yost. Please come up, introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Heather Yost. I am one of the two applicants that applied late. First and foremost, I want to thank the board for their consideration for interviewing those others of us who may be interested in even, opening back up the application period just even for a tiny bit. As stated, it may not have been the best timing, though I know that was not in your control, over the holiday season when a lot of parents especially are not really checking in on the school board district website because our kids are at home with us and we're on vacations and we're out of the state or out of the country. And some of us don't still get, the printed news and so I would urge maybe for the future to utilize other means like, the parent portals and class dojos and things like that, maybe to announce vacancies, or social media. You do have a Facebook page, but it was not on there, so maybe we would have been more likely to have seen that in a timely manner. So apologies, I don't think that leaving it wide open like everybody, can apply at any given time. We all want to adhere to deadlines, but, both Mr. Smith and I were 2 days late for those reasons. Once we heard about it, we applied that same very day. So I assume that maybe we're not even alone in that, not having seen that. So, I just want to thank you for listening to your constituents. As Mr. Scaff and Mr. Rodriguez said, you are elected officials and, past the appointment of whoever you choose for this vacancy and the other one, we would go forward and try to be elected officials again. And so we need to remember, of course, as the board, that we serve, the constituency, and a lot of those are parents with students in the district, including, some of ourselves. So, I think that was a super great decision that you all made, and I just want to commend you for that. It's not always easy going against the grain, and so I'm really, happy with that. My comment originally was to make the plea to hear us and potentially interview us. So I just want to thank you for the opportunity for sure. So thank you very much.
Thank you for coming. And the next person on our list is Jason Smith. Jason Smith, please come up to the board and introduce yourself.
Jason Smith, Wayne Township. Be very short, but yes, thank you for giving me the opportunity to present myself, to make an appeal. I look forward to the chance, and this has been a great learning experience on seeing how difficult situations are navigated, but thank you for also taking on the extra work. I know everyone's schedules are tight, and I do greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. According to this list, I don't see anyone else. Do you want to confirm that, please? Okay. Hearing of visitors is closed. Thank you very much. Okay. Information discussion items, F1, TCC. To advise the TCC delegate on the matter of an upcoming TCC meeting concern, the potential change of a solicitor. If I may explain this, please. You appointed Elizabeth Lynch, me, as your TCC school board delegate. And what that means is I sit at the TCC, the Tax Collection Committee meetings, as your representative. It's my job to report anything to you that is of consequence. We do have a TCC meeting coming up, and it is, I believe, Wednesday of the 28th, but be that as it may. I would like some sort of consensus from you, or at least to let you know that the TCC is considering changing their solicitor. That's all the information I have. I don't know if it's going to be on their agenda. Their agenda isn't out yet, but I will need to vote that evening. And when I vote, it's your vote. So I would like some direction from you, please. They will bring possibly one or two, possibly three different solicitors to the table that their board leadership has considered. We have a weighted vote system. Keystone owns approximately 58% of that vote. In other words, if 12 delegates show up from other municipalities in Clinton County, they all vote, Keystone's vote will always win. Okay? So I want you to make sure that you feel that a consensus that when I vote on behalf of you, if they so choose to put up for a new solicitor, and I vote accordingly, is there a consensus to approve that, or would you prefer that I didn't vote for a solicitor's name that comes forward? Is there a consensus that
I feel confident with your vote.
Okay, thank you.
I feel as a TCC member myself, I feel that you'll do the right thing. And I ask that you listen to all the vetting and the process they're going through. You and I both know what it is.
Absolutely.
And I feel confident in your vote
Okay.
because I can reach across the table and whack you. I'm only joking, but
It's- Okay, so can I say that we have a consensus that I'm gonna be voting on your behalf and that you'll trust me and I'll just inform you next month on how the vote went? If it's on the agenda, we're assuming it will be. Okay, all right, thank you so much for that consideration. Information discussion items, we have the F2, the December enrollment report. Is there anything, besides the update, or is there anything else that the board should know?
I want
I'm sorry.
I just want to say thank you for getting the numbers fixed correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you for noticing, Chris. Is there anything else?
Nope. that's-
Okay, thank you very much. F3, 004 membership. It is under the recommendation of board leadership that policy 004 under vacancies, the following text be included. Effective immediately, the following sentence shall be added to the policy 004 under vacancies. Late application submissions and school board candidate requests for an interview may be considered after the vacancy application deadline date and time. That is the only alteration to this standing policy. I feel like we've gone through this well enough. I would just like to say this. As you have heard from multiple different voices, the board has collectively, majority, to decide how to move forward when they do vacancies. And if you vote no, that's fine. It may or may not go back to the policy committee. If you vote yes, it just means a line of text is being added. So is there any questions on the vote tonight? Okay, discussion, please.
I make the motion that both 004 membership, 005 organization be tabled until it, as a policy chairman, it goes through the proper procedures, that we bring it back. As I said, it was on the policy committee meeting for yesterday, and it got sent back for the fact that we ran out of time because the policy agenda was way full. So I make a motion, this gets tabled until the policy committee can properly discuss it. Then it has to come to first read, then it has to go to second read, and then we move forward.
Okay. Chris made a motion to combine item F3, F4. Is there a second to Chris's motion?
I second.
Discussion, please. No discussion? I will say this. For the fourth one, the 005 organization to discuss whether or not the vice president, the president should be a chair of a committee. Now, first thing everyone needs to understand that the committees, except for committee of the whole, which is the full board, committees are 3 individuals. At the January meeting, they are on their agendas, they vote on who will be their chair. So you'll need 2 people to vote for one of the 3. So I just want to let you know that the committees, when they're chaired, the chair in cooperation with the superintendent and the school board secretary sets their agenda starting in February. That was my discussion item. Okay, so we have a motion on the floor and a second. Roll call vote, please. Oh, I'll read the motion for you. I won't make you do that. The motion on the floor is to combine F3, 004 membership, F4, 005 organization, to table it and send it back to the policy committee for further review. We have a first and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Mr. Scaff,
Yes.
Dr. Baldino,
Oh, he's no longer here.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
just in case. Ms. Bohart,
Yes.
Mr. Cannon,
and Ms. Lynch.
Yes. Thank you very much. Okay, G4. I'm sorry, G1. Board resignation. With the recommendation of administration resolved, the Keystone Central School District Board of Directors acknowledge the resignation of Region 4 Representative Mr. Jeff Johnson effective January 1st, 2026, and Region 9 Representative Miss Mary Kramer effective January 7th, 2026. We have a motion, please.
I make a motion, we accept the resignation of Mary Kramer.
Okay. A second, please. Second to the motion?
Second.
Okay, discussion, please. Discussion closed. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Personnel Committee meeting training, G2. With the recommendation of administration resolved that the Keystone Central School Board of Directors approve the recommendation of board leadership to invite King Spry's attorney, John Frood III, to provide an Act 93 public presentation at an estimated cost not to exceed $600. With the recommendation of administration resolved that the Keystone Central School Board of Directors approve the recommendation of board leadership to select one of the meeting dates, January 21st, 3 p.m., February 12th, or February 13th. So the motion on the floor. The motion on the floor. When you vote yes, with the understanding that we are going to have to, if you vote yes, we have to make sure that we have enough people to come to the meeting, but we will handle that. Okay. Do we have a motion on the floor, please?
I make a motion that we follow through with personnel committee training as there is a lot of concepts coming up.
So what's your I'm so sorry.
My motion is to bring the correct individual in and follow through with the personnel committee training because we have a lot of personnel issues coming forward and we need to be at the top of the page.
May I ask for a clarification? Do you have a proposed date that you would like to put into your motion?
You want to split that? You might want to do two.
Well,
Well, that's going to be with everybody.
okay.
I think leave the date out.
It was a question.
When our personnel committee meets on the 27th, we've already been here for, it's going to be 2 weekends in a row. I hate to say it, but could we do the 23rd on an evening or afternoon, or does it have to be?
These were the available dates.
These are when the attorney is available.
Okay,
I might not be able to make it.
Without going into March.
I'm not, oh, okay, I see it. I see that now. I missed it. So we have the 21st
The 21st.
of January at 3.
Mm-hmm.
I would go for that. February 12th. That is a voting meeting night, so it would have to be early. And the 17th is a Tuesday night. That could go good, but with the personnel committee meeting coming up on the 27th, I would ask that we do it on the 21st if everybody can do that at 3 o'clock.
21st of January, 3
Yep,
p.m.
3 p.m. would be my motion for the fact that we can have this done before the committee or the personnel committee meets.
Okay, so motion on the floor. Let me just please.
You want me to reread it?
Okay,
I got it right here.
okay. Short, sweet, factual.
The motion will be to have the committee, personnel committee training done by King Spry's attorney, John Froon III, for any and all committee members and any board members that want to attend on January 21st at 3:00.
We have a second, please.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Mr. Scaff,
Yes.
Dr. Baldino, Ms. Bohart,
Yes.
Mr. Cannon, Ms. Lynch,
Yes.
Mr. Miller.
No.
4 yeses, 1 no.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you very much. I'll call her tomorrow. She's waiting for my phone. I'm sorry, I'll call him tomorrow. He's waiting.
I'm not texting anybody, but I'm putting it in my phone right now.
Okay. And it will be recorded, so any board members that can attend, when you do it, if you do attend the personnel committee meeting in the public section, though, you are part of the public. If you're not attending as a board member. Thank you. G3. With the recommendation of administration resolved that Keystone Central School District Board of Directors approves the acceptance of an in-kind equipment donation from West Company to support the biotechnology program and a donation from the Home Builders Institute in the amount of $4,000 in Home Depot gift cards to support the construction trades program.
Motion to approve.
Motion to.
Motion to approve the donation of the money and equipment and everything involved.
Does that work for you?
You could just say the CTC donation.
The CTC donation.
Do we have a second, please?
I second.
Discussion. I just have to say thank you for everyone who took care of this and who did this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All those in favor say yes. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Summer Park Program, G4, with a recommendation of administration, the board approves the expenditure of $50,000 or less for the summer recreation program. The program runs 8 weeks from mid-June to mid-August. Do we have a motion, please? No motion. Item fails. G5, Verkada. With the recommendation of administration resolved that the Keystone Central School District Board of Directors approve the purchase and installation of Verkada security system if and only if KCSD receives PCCD grant funded funds consistent with the grant application. May we have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion and to work with Verkada and get the system going and in place because we have received the PCCD grant funds.
If I can clarify, the person who was doing the presentation had it incorrect. That has not been awarded yet.
Oh, it hasn't?
Correct. It has not
Okay.
been awarded yet.
Okay, then we go back to the original thing that we discussed was I make the motion, we approve the Verkada security system grant only if we get the PCCD grant funds that are consistent with grant applications as agreed to by Verkada. In other words, if we don't get the grant, we don't get the system. If we do get the grant, it goes towards that.
Okay, so the motion on the floor is to approve this with the understanding that it's dependent on the grant outcome. Do we have a second, please?
I second.
Discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Scaff,
Yes.
Dr. Baldino, Ms. Bohart,
Yes.
Mr. Cannon, Ms. Lynch,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
5 members, yes.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. Item G6, MOU, Memorandum of Understanding with the Law Enforcement. With the recommendation of administration resolved that the Keystone Central School District Board of Directors approve the following recommendation for the board. Approval of the attached MOU with the Pennsylvania State Police Rockview. This is our annual renew, correct? Yes, thank you. May we have a motion on the floor, please?
I make that motion that we approve the MOU for the law enforcement with the state police and the Liberty Curtin Elementary also, that's been added.
Okay. May we have a second, please?
A second.
Thank you. Discussion? No discussion. Discussion's closed. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Super. G7, Superintendent's 6-month review. Is a recommendation of board leadership and cooperate with the superintendent to approve a contract with Durakio Educational Consulting for the counseling and consulting services. This is also technically a training. They will, if you vote for this contract, they will be there during our process. So then when the superintendent's 1-year review comes up, I feel very confident in your abilities that once you go through the training process just for the 6-month check-in review, you'd probably feel a lot more confident going into the 1-year review. So that's sort of the vision here. It's up to you to decide. There is a cost involved with this, okay? And we have to set a date this evening if you decide to go with this contract. May we have a motion, please?
I make the motion that we contract with Duraco for this training, as you and I, Dr. Baldino, and Mr. Cannon are the only ones that have gone through this procedure. And to be fair to everybody involved, Dr. Redmond and all the new board members, this is a good training for you folks to get brought up to speed on how we do it, what we do, from training from a professional.
Would you like to set a date in the motion?
Well, you didn't tell me I needed to do
I
a
wanted
date.
to start with one. We'll chip away. One section, 2. It's up to you. You're making the motion.
Well, we already are doing January 21st. No, we're not. We're doing. Yeah, we're already doing January 21st. Has he set a time for January 21st? Could we
That
do
was
both?
open.
Huh?
The time was open. We do have.
Cause we could do
No,
2
that's-
trainings. It might be a lot. and I'm gonna leave that up to these folks. We could do that, or we could tie up another Saturday morning. That's gonna be 3 in a row. I'm not much up for that. January 28th, if it's an evening, that's all right.
I have a TCC meeting that night.
Okay, that means I do too, so that's out. And the only other day left is Thursday, the 29th. So we have the 21st where we're already be here, or the 29th.
And it has to be completed before the end of January. Otherwise, the superintendent automatically gets a satisfactory and you don't get the training.
Well, this isn't the.
Oh, it's 6 months. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is a 6-month mid review.
My fault. Retract. Okay, so please, of all those dates, it's up to you.
Only day that works for me is the 29th.
That's the only day that works for me.
I can do the 29th.
It's the best one for me as well.
Good? Okay, motion,
I make a motion that we do the superintendent 6-month review training with Duraco Education Consulting on Thursday, January 29th at 6 in the evening. How long of a training are we talking?
It's about a half day.
It's a half day?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know that for sure.
No, that's
So
not.
I think we can, if we set morning, afternoon, evening, I can work with Mark Duraco and figure out what that time frame is.
No, this is, I'm clarification. This is like a 30-minute training And they're going to be with us throughout the process to help us with the scoring sheet and to understand the scoring sheet and how to evaluate it. And then how we present it to you. So this isn't how to evaluate a superintendent, because this is just a 6-month review. I just want the idea is that they understand why they're there and the process and what the scoring sheet is, and so we can process it. So when we have our discussion, Dyrachio will be there to help guide us and stay focused.
I understand.
So yeah, this is just a 6-month review. It's a very, I wouldn't, anything more than an hour. No.
So it won't be more than an hour.
I mean, unless the board wants to talk regarding.
If it's a little over an hour, it's okay. If it's a
Okay.
half day, that's a different
No,
story.
yeah,
I
no,
can't
no,
do
half
that.
day, no, there's that, no,
Are you
this.
good if we hit it at 5:30? Cause you work.
Yeah, 5:30. I don't.
Can we interrupt your sleep?
I have off Thursday night, so that's fine.
Oh,
Okay.
beautiful.
John, how do you feel about it?
What's the price of this?
If he attends in person, $774. If he attends virtually, $600.
For an hour.
Well, I think it was, this conversation went with I didn't set this one up. I did the King Spry one. I think maybe Duraco was thinking that it's gonna be a half-day situation here. So, but we have to vote on it this evening, one way or another, yes or no, because we can't have.
You can set a, I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, please.
You can set a not to exceed number and you'll know it will be less than that. If you give a specific time frame or you have to get it done in X amount of time, I'll communicate with him. Communicate that with him, and I'm sure the price will change accordingly. If you look into the contract, he has preparation approximately 2 hours and facilitation is approximately 2 hours plus travel. Again, that can be whether, so if you're constrained, and his charge is $150 per hour. So if you're thinking it's going to be a total of 2 hours, it would be 300.
Approximately.
And I think doing it virtually is fine.
Yeah, I have no problem with
I
virtual.
don't have a
I like
problem, so I'll make a motion that we hire Duraco to do the training on Thursday, January 29th at 6 PM, virtually. I believe it's the only way to do a fair
Okay,
review.
okay, so that's the motion on the floor with, okay,
I just said it.
okay, we're all clear, okay. May we have it, but first you said 5:30 and then you said 6, so it's 6 o'clock.
No, I was asking him if 5:30 was okay.
Okay, so
or
it is 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good. Thank you. Thank you for the clarification. May we have a second, please?
Second.
Discussion. Discussion closed. Roll call vote, please.
Miss Bohart,
Yes.
Mr. Cannon, Miss Lynch,
Yes.
Mr. Miller.
Yeah.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Yeah.
Mr. Scaff,
Yes.
and Dr. Baldino. 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 yeses.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. And you'll be, and then if you would email all of us, that would be lovely. Thank you. G8. To support school board member communications, the recommendation of board leadership that board members consent to their phone numbers and addresses be included in the confidential 2026 school board member contact list. You see the attachment. The only difference to the attachment is you are giving your consent that your personal number and your public address, technically, and will only be shared between us, school board secretary, Dr. Redmond. It is not public information. Do you consent or not? Please voice would you just ask everyone, please? And for the members who aren't here, I know I can't speak for Baldino, but he was on the list last time. Tom was on the list last time. So.
Okay. Dr. Baldino, Miss Bohart,
Oh, you
Yeah.
gotta make a motion.
No, we're not passing anything. We're just,
Okay.
giving our consent to have it placed on there.
Yes.
Mr. Cannon, Ms. Lynch,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
No.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Minutes. If you have a choice here.
I make a motion that we pass H1, 2, and 3.
I second that.
Discussion, please. No discussion. All those in favor say aye.
I,
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Personnel, you have the list and nothing changed since last week, correct? Okay. You have the motion, I'm sorry, you have the list from last week. Nothing has changed. Is there a motion to pass the personnel agenda as presented?
I motion it.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you. Discussion, please. Discussion closed. All those in favor say aye.
I,
Opposed? Motion carries. Curricular, co-curricular, number J1.
I make a motion that we pass J1 and 2. We discussed them at length in the work session. I think everybody pretty well understands it.
Do we have a second, please?
I second.
Discussion. Discussion closed. All those in favor say aye.
I,
Opposed? Motion carries. And if I
Motion to
may,
adjourn.
I'm sorry, may I just make a quick comment, please? I just wanted to thank, on the personnel sheet, there is an individual there, Sheldon Gray, lead mechanic supervisor of property services, effective June 30th, 2026. I just wanted to publicly say he's a very kind man. I used to see him all the time when I'm walking my dogs in the summertime, and he will be missed. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Adjournment. Thank you for everyone for your patience and your discussions.